A disgraced former fertility doctor from Ottawa had his medical license revoked today by the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Dr. Bernard Norman Barwin pleaded no contest to inseminating women with the wrong sperm, several with his own. The complaints against him go back decades.
There's never any going back from this. It's changed my life forever. I focus on the positive parts, but there's no question that it's emotionally challenging to ask questions about what does family mean? What are my relationships? How do you continue to strengthen those relationships? What does it mean for me to be related to somebody who's responsible for creating this harm in other people's lives?
Rebecca Dixon and her parents found out 3 years ago when she was 25 that the man who had raised and loved her was not her biological father. Instead, it was her mother's fertility doctor, Norman Barwin, who inseminated her with his semen without her knowledge when she was his patient in the 90s.
In some ways, it explains certain things, like the fact I'd never looked like my parents, but it was a huge shock and a huge burden for me to carry.
In an uncontested statement of facts, a disciplinary panel heard details of patients who were either inseminated with Barwin's semen or by strangers. They heard moving impact statements today, some describing their agony over having to tell their children. One woman said she felt violated and dirty, as if she'd been raped when she found out. The lawyer for the college said Barwin caused deep, wide, and extraordinary harm.
The repercussions to these patients and their families is going to continue in perpetuity. It is the most reprehensible, egregious conduct the physician could engage in our view.
Barwin was disciplined and briefly suspended for the same practice in 2013, and in 2014 he voluntarily gave up his license. Now that it has been revoked, he will never be able to reapply, and other jurisdictions will be informed in Canada and abroad, so he'll never be able to practice anywhere else. But Barwin will have to hear his penalty through his lawyer because he failed to show up today.
There's no medical evidence that suggests that he wasn't able to attend today. He has chosen not to attend. And you heard my submissions before the discipline committee. In my view, that shows that he continues to fail to take responsibility for his actions. And the discipline committee said it was unfortunate he didn't come here to face his victims.
Barwin at first claimed the inseminations with his sperm were accidental. The college said that explanation was implausible and found Barwin incompetent, that he committed disgraceful, dishonorable, or unprofessional conduct, and that he failed to maintain the standards of the profession. And there's no doubt in your mind that this was deliberate.
The evidence, I think, can lead to no other conclusion.
While today's hearing dealt with 13 cases, there's also a civil lawsuit underway involving 50 to 100 patients, including 11 where Barwin is alleged to have used his own sperm. And there are likely more who haven't or don't want to come forward. Rebecca, how many siblings do you believe you have at this point?
I know 15 siblings who have matched with me through DNA testing.
One of the penalties imposed today was a public reprimand addressed to Barwin and read aloud at the hearing. It read in part, your behavior has been beyond reprehensible. You betrayed trust and caused irreparable damage that will span generations. But of course, since Norman Barwin wasn't present, he did not hear those harsh words against him.